that must be a pretty hard one to take, right?
Yeah, I think the word I used and the players used was probably heartbreaking more than anything else because we'd worked so hard. Look, I've got to give a little bit of credit to Wigan. Champion sides, they might be a bit disgruntled in the way they played or the way we forced them to play, but they still managed to win. That's what obviously champion teams do. But I thought for the vast majority of the game, I actually thought we had the running of them really. I thought we were the dominant side for the vast majority of the game. We should have come away with a result, but unfortunately, it's becoming a little bit habitual for us at the moment. I didn't think we'd be able to lose it in the last 5 minutes, but unfortunately we did. We didn't start the game very well. We give them so much ball, but I knew we were on. I knew we were on when we give them so much ball, but defended over and over and over again on his own try line. They couldn't break us, and I knew that's when we were gonna put a good performance together, which we did.
And when the sort of pain of today eases, you'll take. I mean, I appreciate I'm asking you. You knew I was going to ask exactly these questions, but the same old story like about you'll take a hell of a lot of positives.
Yeah, look, I did say all along that. People probably don't believe me that I thought our season was going to start at the second half of the season. We had so much sort of disruption regarding stuff with our injuries and everything else, that once we started getting some good back-to-back training sessions together, that we could start building some momentum. And I feel like, look, unfortunately for us, professional sports are a really cruel game. It's probably about the third or fourth game that we've been winning at half time that we should have gone on to win, and with a better side. But unfortunately, when the league table is shown at the end of the year, we won't have the 2 points, and everyone will forget the performances. But I spoke to the playing group then about using that as a bit of a springboard, because look, they're a champion side of Wigan. Even if they didn't, I don't think it was one of the case of they didn't play too well. I thought we actually forced them into, the way they played. And I thought Zach Wolford were immense, playing 80 minutes in the middle. I had middles that were continually tying in against. Look, even though the pitch was slightly smaller, Field, Faramond have still got amazing footwork, still come back and challenge the middles. Jake Wardle, and as middles kept tying in and kept tying in and kept tying in over and over and over again to withstand them. And there'll be a lot of positives to take from him, but at this moment in time, it's still heartbreaking.
About 20 minutes to go, losing Clune and Greenwood pretty much both at the same time. They were, apart from Zach, they were probably your two biggest players. That possibly cost you, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think, look, Greeny were having a wonderful game in the back row, the left back row. He was causing them all sorts of problems when he had the ball in hand, obviously getting over for the try, and defensively were really sound. Obviously, Clooney, I've said it all along, that Clooney's our leader. He's the one who dictates the play. He's the one who turns the ball over more times than not with his kicking game. And when we lost him in that crucial period, I definitely think it hurt us. Do I think we could have still gone to win the game? Of course I do. Of course, there were some little things that if we'd have changed, I think we'd have come away with the result. But it made it a lot more difficult when he is your chief playmaker, organiser, and that's when you need the organisation the most.
In terms of the injuries, any too early to say?
Yeah, a little bit. Obviously, I've come straight to you, really. I spoke to the lads. Clooney didn't know if it were a bit of cramp or it was his hamstring, but it were pulling at him. Obviously, I wanted to win the game, but my consideration was I can't afford him to be out again. So I was trying to get him off, but he was courageously wanting to stay on. So I'll go down now and get a report on his hamstring. Joe Greenwood with a hip, he just said he jarred his hip. So I'm not sure if that's dislocation or not. And the other ones they were head knocks. Are getting stitched up, so they should be fine. But those two are a little bit of a concern at this moment in time.
If you managed to hold on, I was going to sort of ask you half jokingly if you prefer to play here more often, but I suppose the question still stands because the players were really kind of getting roused by the crowd and vice versa, which you obviously don't get normally at home games. I mean, was that a factor in how well you played today? Well,
I think the factor was we've actually had 2 weeks of training with the same playing group. I think that's one thing that's definitely helped us. That hadn't been since November. But I do think it makes a difference. I think our chairman, look, he's been unbelievable as our chairman for this club and the town, and he wants to keep it within the town. but even he's realised that the stadium is too big for us. You know, the likes of Wigan, they like coming to our stadium. There's no intimidation factor. It's a massive, big, lovely stadium with leather seats in the subs bench. You've got music playlists in the dressing rooms. It's a really nice place to come. We don't want that as a home environment. We want it to be hostile with fans on top of them and singing. And you know what? I think we got that today from us fans. As fans are always brilliant anyway. They are brilliant. They're only small in numbers, but they're really loud. They're really proud. But they get drowned out by our stadium. And it's been addressed by his chairman, and we're actively looking all the time at this moment in time to find a stadium. I wouldn't say exactly the same as this, a little bit more modern, but something where you can build a bit of a fortress and create a little bit of intimidation when the opposition come. I thought that's what we got today.
And Warrington, isn't it next?
It is.
Friday? Is it?
Saturday. Yeah, Warrington Saturday next week. Look, they're another really good side. They've got extremely good players. As Wigan today, they've shown under Sam that he's taken them to finals. But if we put the same performance in, and we keep building, and we keep putting that effort, that desire, we just fix up a few little things defensively and a few things with the ball. I've said it all year that I think we'll challenge teams continually for the rest of the year.
Robbo, just one from me. George King, first try in the claret and gold, and also big minutes and a big performance from Tom Burgess. Just how pleasing is that to see? As well, Tristan Powell, the forwards, that they really did play well and stand up today as well.
Yeah, look, I thought from a lot of us middles that were probably some of the best performances they've put in. And there were some times where we had players off, they were getting stitched up and I'm going to get thrown straight back on. But I thought, I'm not going to single anyone out. I thought all us middles had really, really good games. And I thought they carried extremely well. I thought we got over the advantage line. We caused them loads of problems, even against the wind. I thought we managed to get ourselves out of trouble, and a lot of it were down to us middles. I thought they each to a man tied in really well, defended really well, and actually got on the front foot with the ball. So I'm really pleased that I'm really pleased that they did that.